Good evening. I'm Katrina. I'm going to go over the grant-funded assessment worksheet. That worksheet is used to calculate your cost per citation. Cost per citation is equal to your personal services, which is your salary and fringe, divided by the number of grant-funded citations issued during the year. That citation count is based on the type of grant funded. If you have an OP grant, that's going to be seatbelt and child restraint. If it's impaired driving, DUI. These traffic services, get you there. Okay, if it's police traffic services, seatbelt, child restraint, and speed. To calculate your cost per citation, you simply enter your citation number in the top chart. That's going to populate the next graph for you. To get your cost per citation, enter your contract amount and the expended amount, and that gives you your cost per citation in the bottom line of that second chart. It also populates that second graph for you. All this information is provided on the disk for you. Thank you. Next, we have Cedric.
Good afternoon, everyone, again. I'll be discussing with you all DUI and seatbelt blitzes, the MASL meetings, the Highway Safety Resource Center, as well as our new MOHS data website. Remember, first of all agencies that have a grant in FY15 must participate in our Click It or Ticket event and our Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over. You can see your implementation folder for the dates that these events will take place. Also, keep in mind, participation includes pre-enforcement, earned media for that pre-enforcement, stepped up enforcement for the particular blitz, and finally remember that data collection is required with the reporting to the MOHS office by the reporting deadline. Also, an earned media post to let the public know about the effectiveness of the particular blitz is going to be required as well. And you'll be able to get these reporting forms online on the new website, which I'll talk about in a moment. That here is an example of what the clicker is, the Drive Sober Get Pulled Over information form that you would turn in looks like. And each one of those forms will change for the particular blitz. Next, we have the MASL meetings. Many of you all are familiar with these already. The Mississippi Association of Highway Safety Leaders. These meetings are held, as many of you know, the third Friday of each month, excluding the months of June and July. We encourage everyone to attend, or someone from your agency to attend all 10 of those meetings, but if you can't make all 10, keep in mind that we do require you to attend at least one per quarter or send an individual from your agency. And at these meetings, many things that are important to the Office of Highway Safety and to you all will be discussed. The Mississippi Highway Resource Center is another project that some of you may or may not be familiar with. It's funded by NHTSA in partnership with DREAM Incorporated. This project allows you to order promotional items for your various community outreach programs that you may have going on in your area. A couple things to keep in mind about the MHSRC is that currently it's only available to those who have grants. So, unfortunately, you won't be able to tell your partners that don't have a grant with us that they'll be able to use this resource. Also, we do offer free shipping to anyone within 20 miles, or arrangements can be made if you're going to be near DREAM or near our office at a meeting to pick those items up. And finally, unfortunately, we don't do any same-day orders, so please give us a 2-week lead time to get your orders approved to make sure we have the items in stock that you requested. And finally, the MOHS data website. This is going to be our new data website for everything related to the highway safety. The web address for this new website is going to be www.officeofhighwaysafety.ms.gov, and that Office of Highway Safety is all one word. There's no spaces or anything like that. The website will contain information about our office, grants, contact information for individuals in our office, as well as various training tools that you all will be able to utilize when those things go live. That's kind of what the website will look like there. Also, there will be a section dedicated to law enforcement, links to the Public Safety Data Lab, as well as a link to the Mississippi Highway Resource Center. And finally, we'll field questions if anyone has any
Yes.
I have a couple of things I'd like to add.
Okay, okay, Ms. Pat, come up forward, please.
Yeah, and then there's that federal person who can't help but say something. One thing I didn't hear you guys mention, and I'm sure it's in your packets, but there's information in there. Everybody had to sign a certification about Buy America. And this will apply to anybody that has equipment or anything that they're purchasing this year. You must comply with the Buy America Act. Everybody knows what the Buy America Act is? Some people are saying. Basically, unless you are a steel manufacturer or you purchasing steel or something like that, you must comply with purchasing equipment or materials that were purchased in America. And so that's been a challenge for this program because a lot of the widgets, gadgets, and miscellaneous knickknacks you can buy for 4 cents a piece if they're made in China, and they come to the United States and you have to pay $1.25 a piece for them. And there are provisions to get around that, but the Office of Highway Safety has to request special provisions, and it has to go in for, it's a pain in the you-know-what. But you must comply, and the biggest problem that you'll have for those that may have computers in your grants this year, you will have problems with that. Or you may have, or let's say you bought a computer that you, and we at NHTSA have taken that sort of as liberal as we can. So made in America means, for example, Dell computers, the parts are manufactured overseas, and they may come as a shell. But the rest of that is assembled in the United States, and we will accept that as a computer that is made in America, okay? So please be cognizant of the Buy America Act, and there's information on NHTSA's website on products that will fit in there based on what you're buying. They did talk about equipment over $5,000. I don't know how many people have that in their grant this year, but if you have equipment that is $5,000 or more, it must have NHTSA prior approval, and that means everything it takes to make that run. So for example, if you have in your equipment a camera, an in-car video camera, that's $47.99. So that's under $5,000. So it wouldn't necessarily need NHTSA approval. But if you have to have a mounting bracket and all of those things to make that camera work, it becomes an equipment piece over $5,000. So it's not just the equipment itself, it's everything that makes that piece of equipment work. And if those things in totality equal $5,000, you must have prior approval. And lastly, I want to mention, I know as the staff was talking about all the different forms and things like that, some of you were going, my God, listen to all these forms that they're doing. I know you said that. But I want to mention that we spoke to the Colonel and the Commissioner on yesterday. NHTSA is preparing to do its management review of the Office of Highway Safety early in FY15. And our whole goal is to come in, look at the systems that are in place, see the performance of the grantees and what's happening here, make sure that you're in compliance, because our goal is in FY15 to remove the Mississippi Office of Highway Safety from its high-risk designation. Woo, 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 woo. A lot of progress been made in that regard, and what would that mean for you? What it would mean more, not necessarily that you all would see it, it'd be a little less seamless for you, but for the folks at the Highway Safety Office, it would mean a little less NHTSA involvement, a little less seeing Pat Tucker. Y'all get me out of the state. It's good. It's all good in the hood. And it's still going to happen probably. But it would mean that we don't have as much oversight and as much say-so about how the funds are spent in the state of Mississippi at that point. So just wanted to mention those those three things, and Ms. Sandra, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, are there any questions? Now is the time to ask any questions or discuss any situations or items that you need further clarification. Not everybody at one time. Okay, you heard Ms. Patton mention about equipment over 5,000. That still does not evade the fact that for those of you who have equipment that you still need to get permission from your program managers prior to purchase. I think I saw a hand in the back. No? Oh, okay. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, good. All right there. All right, my director, Ms. Thomas, is wanting us to make sure that you pay close attention to the revised forms that are in your folder packet. You'll see those noted somewhere at the top or the bottom of the form. When in doubt, call your program manager. If you have any questions about how to thoroughly and properly complete something, just call your program manager. Okay. Okay, do we have enough folders for everyone? Anybody without a folder? Any agency without a CD? We got some extras? Back in the back? Oh, yeah, that's why I said any agency without so just one CD per agency. So that we'll make sure we have enough for each agency. Yes, Danielle. Close out November I presume you're asking about FY14 or 15 for that matter. November 15th. But I would advise that you get that in as soon as possible, okay? So that we can have proper time to review. Good question. Anyone else? Okay. What's our time frame? What time do we have? I know. Okay, then we want to have. We're going to take the even if we have any remaining time on Q&A. Go ahead and begin our magic presentation, okay? Because we're going to need the time for that. At this time, lawyer will come forward.
Welcome back. That was a quick break. I like that. You're prompt and you're on time. But we're getting ready to go into what we call magic. How many of you attended the magic session earlier? Great. Did you learn a little something? All right, just a little. Just a little. All right, we're going to go into a brief overview. This is just going to be an overview because some of you all will not actually be in the magic system, but you really need to know what magic is doing for you. Does anyone know what magic, the acronym of magic stands for? I need one. I need one. No, Miss Pat. All right, Miss Pat, I'm gonna let you in. Go ahead, Miss Pat. Mississippi. Accountability. System for government information and collaboration. Great. That is what magic is all about. Magic is to try to, is it there to help reduce the backlog of paperwork in order for you to receive your reimbursement on time. That's the goal. The director and the accounting director have been talking daily about ensuring that you get paid on time. And that's our goal. So we're working day and night to try to make sure that you are being paid on time. With our magic system, there are a lot of things that have come aboard that have caused some problems that were unknown to us and to them. And they're working day and night to correct that. But magic is alive and well. It's alive and well. So we're going to go over a brief, and what I'm going to talk about a little bit is just an overview of what you will see when you get into the magic system. Magic is just an information system for you to input, especially your reimbursement, your history, your attachments, everything that you do financially will go into this system and it will maintain. Now here's the great part about it. Every time you go in that system, it records who goes in there. So be careful of your password. Letting your buddy use your password, you know that's a violation, right? All right, that's a violation. But that's very important because it's going to track that ID. That's the important part about that. Give me a minute, let me try to log on.
Wait, I got it. Yes, yes, put yes, remember up there. That way you don't have to keep typing it in. Well, I'm trying to get you your password. They don't even know who he is.
While lawyers trying to log in, let me just give you a couple of things. If you're going to be the user of the system, I can't believe you all can't hear me, but is it on? Okay. 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 I'll just continue to shout because this is really important. If you're the user of the system and you go in and you set up a user ID and password, please write it down. Even if you ask the system to remember you, because every 90 days you've got to change your password. So when you set up and you give your personal questions, write the answer to those down somewhere, because don't do like I did. Voice of experience. I wrote it down, but I forgot where I put it. And you can't get in this system now if you don't have that. So Captain McCain says he keeps a ledger of all of his passwords, user IDs, and all of that. I don't know how many you have, but for magic, please write it down, because on the 90th day when you are busy and trying to get that reimbursement in, guess what? It's going to tell you to change your password. And if you can't remember it, if you can't go back and answer all of those questions, because that's what it'll do if you forgot your password, then you're going to have to call the help desk. And they have a line of about 250,000 users, and you're going to be somewhere in the mix. That's just a heads up, okay? Magic is good. Once we get all the bugs out, it's gonna be great. But these are just some experiences that I've had that I couldn't sit in my chair and not share with you, because somebody's gonna do the same thing that I did. So, okay, are we in?
We're in.
I timed it just right.
Perfect. Thank you for covering for me. Magic. This is a screen. Now, there are some terms and some definitions that's going to change in your, I guess in your dashboard. That if you have a phone, what you call those little square things on your phone that you tap? Say again? Apps. Yeah, apps. They call them apps. And you will see those apps up here. And these are the apps that you will enter to get into the system for access. Two things were going to happen once we click on the eGrant app. And that's the one that you will actually be going into, is the eGrant application. I'm going to click this app, and you're going to see two stations. You're going to see the eGrant Work Center, and you're going to see the eGrant application. I want you to hit this one. Now, and it's going to automatically take you to the home screen. Now, what's important about this can be very easy for you if you pay attention to a few things, just a few things. I want you to take a look at the top of the screen. When you log into Magic, into eGrant, you're going to see that you're on the home page. That's going to be important. This identifier is going to let you know exactly where you're located every time you're in Magic. Over here on the side, going on the left side of here, this legend column, this column right here are links back to home. You get lost, always go back home. Your calendar, your work list, and you can go on down and you can see everything there. But there's something important here that I really want you to pay attention to. And that is the last one here, which is called Help Center. In the Help Center, it's going to allow you to go in and get some help, just in case you become clogged in the head like I'd get sometimes. And let's click on Help Center and let's see what happens. Where is home? What happened? It went away. Yes, ma'am. We'll have it for you. She's asking for the web address. So, but we'll have all that for you, okay? When you look here on the Help Center, did something change? Home went away, and what popped up? Administrative. This administration value here is going to come in and tell you what you need help on. I want to create an application. I need help with a change request, or I need help with a claim. I'm not going to click on that, but what's going to happen is that as you go into the Magic system and you need help, what it will do, it will assist you. There's another data block in here, and it's called a help screen. It's called You Perform. Under You Perform, it will give you some step-by-step training guidance all the way through in everything you do in Magic. There you go. Pay attention to this because this is going to be a help. Now, how do I get back? Anybody know how you get back? Just like anything else, you do what? Hit the what? Hit the back button. So let's see what happens when I hit the back button. Now, there's some very important things I want you to pay attention on this screen. If you look, you're going to see something very familiar to you when you look at today's appointment, today's task, workflow task. I want you to pay attention to those because they have little bitty icons right next to them. And what happens there is that if you open up Magic and go through the eGrant system and get to this screen, if there's any task that you have told yourself you need to do, it's going to be in that column. You will see tasks available. And the same for today's appointment. If you have any appointments for today in Magic, it's going to be there. So what will be an appointment? An appointment would be something like, I need to make sure I do a claim for Hancock County, or I need to get back with MAD on a grant. So those will be there for you. Workflow tasks. Workflow is that something I will not get too deep into because MMRS is still working on that. But what that does, it allows you to have different people through the approval system in Magic that allows them to take a look at your work to approve it. That's what's going to happen in Magic. Here come the fun part. There are two words up here, search and create. Can anyone tell me the difference? There you go. Absolutely. Give that man some chocolate. Give him a hand. All right. Create. He said that create is that you create something, and search is that you're searching for something. But again, in the whole process, those two words are definitive in this system for you. If you don't have anything in your system, you have to create. If you're working for the Office of Highway Safety, your FY14 information is in the Magic system, unless we have a pending grant. But for the most part, most of your grant information is in the Magic system. If not, you start with the application. Everything works the same way you did with paper. But come in FY 15-16, you're going to start entering stuff into the system based on electronic digital devices, such as this operation here called Magic. If you go to create, you want to create an application as the first start. When you click on that application, let's see what happens. You're going to come to a window, an access window. There are different tiers of access for levels up from DFA to MMRS to the locals and to the Office of Highway Safety. But for our application, it's going to always be SOMS application. Anybody know what that stands for? State of Mississippi. So we go over here, we click into the box, and wow, something changed. Now, where are we at now? Application, you see that? Now, what's going to happen? Some of these, the reason I'm pointing that out, it may sound elementary, but what happens in Magic, we discovered that certain screens look the same, but only maybe one line would change. And the best way to tell where you are located is to always look in that window there to see where you're at, whether it's application, agreements, or whatever.